So I thought I would test out actually creating something on my iPad. So let's see how this goes, if it's clear enough. And I'm just gonna, actually let's see, I'm in my sketching one, and just start sketching something on this iPad. So let's see, I'll make it a bit bigger, and then I'm actually going to go in and just start creating a character. So maybe like a dragon's head. So do that, do his ears, do his eyes. It's nothing too detailed. His nose. And then I'll actually even color it in. If I just do, like, you can do so much because you can go out quite far on this and adjust it if it's not okay. So I'm gonna use the gouache paint for painting this character. So what colors can I use if I look at different palettes? I usually like going for greens or something. So let's start off with like a light kind of palette for this character and start just going in. You can always smudge areas if you think it's too dark. Like if I did that there, what I can do is press down on this, and it's supposed to end up being, actually not that one, it'll be this one, to get the smudge tool, and it's supposed to kind of smudge with the same brush you're using, I think. So that's me smudging it in so that it blends a bit better. But I like the kind of watercolor, the gouache effect it has. So let's see, so yeah, I've got my palette. Let's go to this. So what other color? There's other darker greens that I can bring in. And you can do so many things with these. There's so much detail I've been wanting to put into my dragons that I've not done. So you could go in and do the scaling, you know, if you want details. So you can do the scaling going up into the horn. And then the horn, we could actually, well, you can make it so much thinner. You can do a lot with this. You can make some kind of a design in there. So I'm just kind of making it what I think a horn might look like. Can go into the eye. If I do the eye the way I do my characters, it's probably easier for me than trying to make something up. So I usually have a really dark area, and then I come back in with like white and create a circle and a line. This line is usually shaped like a kind of a curved arrow point. And then I'll bring in some of the colors from the rest of the actual dragon's body and lead that into the eye, and then build the layers. So just keep going in. Here I could add a darker tone of this to show some shadows. So if I just make this a bit bigger, there's supposed to be a feature that is, I don't know if I could, seeing the cursor might help me a bit better than what I'm doing right now. So I've just gone over here to this side, but I can always feed in some of that green in again. It's just layering and layering and getting the textures to the way you want. Actually, I've just remembered that I don't want actually to have much of a area at the front. So I'm just gonna go, and you just keep going back and forth here, putting in that white again. You've got your shadow. So if you introduce other colors, like if I introduce say a turquoise in here, I can add the turquoise into the eye here, and then I can go in and start adding some more colors here into the scales again, and just work over what is there. Just doing all sorts of things, making this character very exciting, playing with it. So as I said, I'm using the gouache brush. So gouache, I really like the brush. It's really nice. This is with Procreate. And I started off just using this dark brown, which I can still use to highlight it if I wanted. If I want the skin to be a little bit kind of rustic and textured, I can do it in the same way I'm doing the actual rest of the dragon. You can keep going back and forth, building these layers in. Trying to think of what the way that the eye is, and you can bring in like pinks of some sort and put some kind of fleshier areas in the eye. You can go lighter with that. That's not as light. And then you can go deeper into the eye, so you can make it a bit more less stark with the white, and just pale that down a little bit. Into the nose, you can use some of the darker color here, shape that nose. So going over, making it darker, and then let's see, we've got so I'm just kind of going and shaping this area first, then I'll come back over it with some color. Depends how sharp you want this to be. Go in, and if we want it to have a mouth, it'll be nice. So like all this area, I'm now going to actually just go over it a bit with some of this. You can always erase some areas. So some people work a lot in layers. I don't always work in layers. I like to just draw and just adjust as I go. There's certain artwork that I like. If I'm illustrating a book, I will work in layers because I want to keep some of those details and reuse them somewhere else. So it's always really good to do that. So this is just going back and forth, and actually I don't need to copy that. I'll just go back and get the actual color, and I can just start building some of these layers over that. Sometimes I'll have that showing through, like the textures below, and I don't mind that because it kind of just shows the different tools you've used, different pens. This area, we could probably clean that a little bit. So it's quite low. Let's see, make it higher. So when I'm cleaning it, it's a lot quicker, so we don't waste too much time. So if you have layers and all this kind of cleaning, it's like, it depends what you did on the layer before. So you have to go to that layer to clean it. So I'm trying not to be too fast. I think it's still on the oil paint brush. It's supposed to change to what you, yeah, there we go. It's done it. So I don't want it to be too big. So now it's in the gouache brush. So yeah, this is what we've been doing just for this few minutes. This nose, I want to give a color there. I could go darker green. It's just using the colors and going either lighter or darker with them. So it's really interesting to play around with that. You can really just sketch into this. You don't have to do the same design the whole time. and do all sorts of stuff. I could come in and just start making some patterns here, like little circular hoop things. But what you do is, well, what I do is make it look like it's deliberate. So if you're going to do a pattern, do enough of it to look like you've decided that that's what you wanted to do, not just that you just do some and then you don't carry it through somewhere else on the actual artwork. So if I'm doing his whole body, I would carry this designs down other areas of his body as well. So let's just say we go down here. I'm gonna just sketch, because I used the kind of pencil to sketch it, but I'm gonna just, I've thinned down the gouache brush and I'm gonna just put his wing coming up like this. And the thing about this is that if I want it to be smaller, I've just selected that there, and then I can have him fill the page. Now my brush looks a lot bigger, but so I can add some more of his details in, and then try and think how this wing is supposed to be. And then I can put his arm up here, like he's kind of thinking, what should I do? So he's gonna have a claw just about there, maybe. I could do his other hand kind of coming over this way so that it just looks like he's really contemplating what to do with himself. Looks very awkward. Right, this one. So his arm will be like there, and then he's here. His legs, we can do this coming up. So like he's gonna have some claws. I'm doing this very roughly. You can take your time in these things. So where would his tail go? I can make him smaller again and kind of twirl his tail just under, so he's kind of sitting, leaning. And I love to kind of tell the story when I'm doing these because it's just a lot of fun. So what I can do is have him holding a little character here. So I'm just going to zoom in, and there's going to be a little character that he's kind of caught, and I can make this a bit tighter actually. What is it I'm thinking? I'm thinking of the character kind of going, holding onto the arm a bit and going, oh no. So, and looking not very happy with this dragon, or going, let go of me kind of thing. Not, suppose you could make it a little bit scared, but I do girl characters, I do boys. I'm trying to think the last time I did a boy. So I'm trying to do more boy characters with, so he's kind of been caught in this hold and he's not happy about it. It's like, can you let me go please? And the dragon's like, oh well, you know. I mean, you can kind of just see the threat level here. It's pretty high. So he's in the middle of this and he's not happy about it because he's like, oh no, what have you done? What have I done? Why am I in this predicament? So his leg's kind of gonna be swinging, doing something. Yeah, t-shirt. So I kind of just do a rough copy of this character. He could wear glasses. Hardly ever do any characters with glasses. Let's do that. So yeah, this is fun. It's got his little hair sticking out. And so you just play more and more with this. I'm gonna put some dragon scales on this. So this would take a little while to create. What I can do is, if I think this is too big, because I feel like it is a bit big, is to make it a bit smaller. And then just rearrange his tail coming up. And you can just keep on adjusting that until you get the right thickness of tail. So we've started off just with some of this, so I'm just going to add some more color onto so you can see how you just build on this. Just keep building. It's just a really fun app, Procreate. You can be so light and quick with creating anything, a character. What do I want this boy to look like? Right. Let's go closer and try working at the boy a little bit. So different artists have different ways they work with things. I kind of just feel my way, and I think, right, there's areas that have shadow. His neck area here under his neck is gonna have some shadow. His arm, the lower areas will have some shadow. In here will have shadow. And then I just kind of tweak the color. I mean, there's other ways to do this, but I kind of just tweak and keep tweaking. I don't really know how to explain what I'm doing, but yeah, just going and going. I'm trying to think of what his hair color would be, because that would actually help quite a lot. If I put some kind of a background for him, that would help make him stick out quite a bit. So there are tools that help you to do a lot of these things a lot easier. But mine, it really is about just drawing and taking your time, building, and it's worth it in the end because you know how much work you've put into it. Yeah, the bigger brush keeps messing me up. I'm just going to be patient. So what I'm doing here is trying to build a background that will be dark enough for you to see his complexion, and you can build those layers later on. All I can mention him with is blonde hair. That's just what I'm seeing this little character with. And you can just do a variety of it, and it's kind of like greens really for this blonde, like different greens. And the brush thickness can be thinner. Just gonna go a bit thinner, and you can build in the details because you're closer to his face. So don't want to rush this. So I'm just looking at where I can put shadow. His glasses. My glasses are a blue. So I always sometimes just get inspired with the things that I have. I put a little bit of myself into the artwork, and that's fun. Bit of myself into the artwork. So I have blue frames. So I'm trying to put a little bit of that. So you have different kind of tonal qualities and reflections, and you pay attention to all those details to know which way is the light coming. I really need to get him to look a little bit more alive. I feel like he's still very hazy at the moment. And if I've gone too yellow, I'll push that back as well at some point. I want him to have some kind of a hint of warmth and rosiness, so I'll just slowly build that in. Yeah, this area is hilarious, isn't it? I think we did this a lot, is I missed his whole eye area for actual skin tone. And build his eyes a little bit. Wow, don't know what happened there. Too big. I might end up having to use a sketch brush for this, because if his eyes are struggling, then I need to use a much smaller brush. So we just start putting the details. So his eyes are quite cute eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and put some white in there to get some kind of reflection thing going. And then I'm gonna think about what colors I want to put in. I'm gonna go with the stereotypical blue eye thing going on here. And I can add whatever other colors later on. So you just work in the detail and start building his nose and things. I want this, like, to highlight this because it's very dark there. His hair, if I want to highlight some of that. And this is not pure white, so it's really just given that hint that there is a color variation here. His ear. So yeah, you just slowly build the character. I'm gonna go back to that yellow. It is like a blonde. It's a green, but I'm gonna fix this because I'll overlay. But blondes are really interesting to try and work out because it's a kind of a goldy greeny brown. There's a lot of elements in it, like in the shadows, so you can just do so much in the shadows of which direction you take that. So I'm just gonna put this layer and then I will go for a lighter one over that. And yeah, I mean, this is what the little character looks like so far from further away, and I've put all that detail in. The dragon I've not finished completely, but I'm gonna put some green here. I'm just gonna do some sweeping examples on this dragon now. Just love all the variety of brushes. It's just so awesome. So I'm gonna just put, and what you do with the brushes is when you are painting, you can just keep your brush connected to the actual iPad and you will get that kind of one tone thing go along. But if you do take it off, it will change. So I'm just being loose and adding some areas of shadow with the green. Thinking of where I think I want to add some shadow to this character over the top of the tail. And I am going to keep the contact with this. Go around. Let's just do this. Though I haven't here, but anyway. What I'm trying to do is that this lower side I am going to use a kind of a yellow for some other areas to add contrast of some sort, like another interesting color for the underside. Here, what could I do? Ooh, the turquoise. I could do this color, but a darker one in the shadowy bits. So it's just plain and plain. It's a lot of new stuff. I didn't set my, I didn't put on my actual aeroplane setting, which is probably what I should have done. So I'm just thinking of where there'll be shadow and just going with that, adding this in. It's very loose. Yeah, so his ear, I could go in here with the ear and add some of this green. It's very big. There are new tools. I'm trying to remember which one it is that helps you with this, where where you place your brush becomes like a lot easier to figure out. I'm sure I have a cursor one actually, as in where you can see where the brush makes kind of in the first instance contact, so that you can see what you're doing. But there's a lot of trial and error, and then thinking, oh wait, no, I put it too far that way, this too far that way. So you can make it a lot bigger, and then you know you're a lot closer to your goal, basically. So yeah, building a template. Ooh, when did I do this? Building the template of your character and just building it together. So you can do your sketch completely first. You can see I started with just a head, and then I've gotten to this point. So I thought I would just share a little bit of this today. And I can go on and add more to this little character. Like, let's see, his shirt, I can just add like a purple shirt. And you can just make shadows really, really, I just love the gouache brush. That's all I'm gonna say, because it really gives an extra layer of like texture. The way that it works is just great. I love it. Actually, if this is a t-shirt, then that doesn't. But yeah, so that's, I'm thinking I'm gonna stop here now, so you can see what I've done for today. If I wanted to, I can do another layer. You can double your layer, which I won't do, but I'm gonna take a gray of some sort lightly and go under this and give them like a kind of a ground area, and then you can go in with detail. And I love to do cobblestones for wherever these dragons are. These are my signature things for them. I just love the idea of cobblestones. I don't know why, I just see them on that kind of environment. So different, and then you just kind of work that. And take your time. I'm kind of rushing it. But yeah, so this is what I'm sharing with you today. Thank you for joining me. I have a YouTube channel, Be Creative, and I would be really, really awesomely glad if you subscribe to that. I'm really trying to figure out what to share with you guys, because I do so many different things. So it'd be great if you could join me on my YouTube channel, Be Creative TV. And also, I mean, just I'm on Instagram as well, Beatrice Ajayi Artist. I do have a TikTok as well, and it's different things I'm sharing because I do so many different I use so many different mediums. So yeah, I thought I should do a digital one today. I'm hoping this is clear enough for you to see the details, and I will see you in my next digital installment. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon.